Got a taste for adventure, eh? Pull up a chair by the hearth.
Welcome to the Hearthstone Elite Podcast. Grab a pint and make yourself comfortable. The show is about to begin.
Hey everybody, welcome back for episode 2 of the Hearthstone Elite Cast. The title for this episode is going to be Let the Adventure Begin. So tonight we've got a lot to talk about. We just got done with Blizzcon, as I'm sure you are all aware. So I am here, JDubb, Justin, here with my two buddies. I've got Steve and I've got Gareth.
Everybody.
There, everybody. Hey. There they are. So tonight we've got a ton to talk about. BlizzCon just ended. It was an epic time. So I guess we don't have a ton of time, but let's just get started. So the first thing, so what has everybody been up to? I've been pretty busy. What have you guys been up to?
Well, obviously, if anyone's been visiting Hearthstone Elite, I've done a little bit of changes to the site. There's more articles for you guys to see on the homepage. There are new contributions that we've had from the community. We have a YouTuber on our side now. His name's Dragast. He does a lot of newbie Hearthstoner stuff. We've also got a new contributor who hasn't contributed anything yet, but he's awesome. He's a crazy strategist. His name is Pierce. He's done a lot of writing for Hearthstone, and he's coming to hang out with us for a little bit, so that is also awesome. Besides that, let's see. We also have some contributions going on for the site. Basically, if anyone wants to contribute, you just head to our Write For Us page, and you can, throw up YouTube videos, you can add articles for us, and it's just a fun way for the community to get together and post stuff. What have you been doing, Gareth?
Gee, Steve, you plug in the site quite a lot. Anyway, just the usual work. This time of year, in my business, work suddenly starts getting crazy because you've got deadlines to meet before the end of the year happens, and everybody, goes away for holidays and stuff like that. But otherwise, damn, we've been having a hard time trying to get together for the next show. All three of us being across 7 different time zones. It's insane. I mean,
we almost did it. We almost did it yesterday, but then everyone couldn't get their mics and stuff together because we've got videos to take care of. We've got video podcasts to launch.
I know. This is so obviously. This is the first video attempt. This is our first attempt at video, so this is cool. A lot of fun so far. We're kind of gonna filter our way and work our way through this. So what have I been up to? I've been Go. What'd you say?
No, I was gonna say. It's 6 a.m. here, and I think Steve, for you, it's nearly 11. Or something?
It's almost 11.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and it's 7:45 here. It's like herding cats internationally.
It's a global operation, people. Global operation.
We're herding international cats right now, so this is pretty interesting.
How many Hearthstone plays does it take to make a podcast? Anyway.
I know, right? So I've been pretty busy, just working a lot, and then obviously I had a kid earlier this year. Well, my wife had a kid earlier this year.
Oh, she's so cute.
I know, and
so
I put up baby gates today, which was challenging and is now really annoying because for me to get from the office where I'm at right now, just to fill up my water in the kitchen, I have to go through three security gates. So there's a lot of unlocking and locking and unlocking. It's a freaking nightmare.
Body scanners, thumbprint analysis.
It's been an interesting couple days to say the least. Yeah.
Okay, but BlizzCon, let's talk about it, huh?
Yeah, so BlizzCon. So I guess the first thing we should talk about, the thing that we're all excited about, is the open beta, as Gareth would say. Gareth would say the open beta is coming up. So what's the deal with that, Steve?
Well, BlizzCon, everyone announced, or I shouldn't say everyone announced, but Blizzard announced that within the next month, or in Blizzard time, January, they are going to be releasing the open beta.
Yeah.
As Gareth would say. I'm sorry, I just love the way he says beta, so I'm saying beta.
I speak proper English. I don't know what you guys speak, but
I know it's true. We speak American.
Yeah, we speak broken American garbage language. But anyway, Blizzard announced the open beta next month or January. They're giving that little tentative, let us work out some bugs if we hit some hiccups kind of deal.
Yeah.
everyone should be in the beta by January. That's exciting.
Yeah.
New year, new game, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty damn excited about it. But not just because finally everybody can get in, but I mean, right now the problem we've got in the closed beta is that you don't have all that many players in, so things like metagame and things like that can get a bit stale because you've only got a limited number of people in there, changing things up and trying new things. But if you open it up to the flood of people who really want to play this game, well, I think the game's just going to be absolutely awesome then. It's going to have so many people trying all sorts of new things. It's going to be pretty awesome. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I mean, what were they saying? What were the figures on? There's over 1 million alpha beta testers right now.
Yeah, over 1 million people in the beta already.
The invites, yeah. So I mean, that's a humongous amount of people, and I've been watching. I watch Twitter all the time, just kind of keeping an eye on the Hearthstone scene. And when anybody's giving away a beta key, it's not as crazy as it used to be, but it is still pretty insane to watch the tweets go out and the Facebook posts and all that stuff. So there's still a lot of interest. There's still a lot of people who are clamoring to get in. It's pretty shocking. So
well, yeah. I mean, Blizzard has 12 million. Actually, I think it's a little lower as of recently. I think they might be closer to 10 or 11 million now. But they've got 10 to 12 million subscribers on World of Warcraft, and now they're releasing a new game. So they have 12 million people already interested in what they've got, not to mention new people, because it's a casual game. There's people who don't play WoW, and then you've got the StarCraft scene, and then you've got the Diablo scene. So they have a lot of people who want to get into this
Well,
and
what blows my mind is that every time Blizzard does things like this, they come into kind of a new genre of games, and then they completely take it. I mean, they own it.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at I'm not even just talking Hearthstone. If you watch the Heroes of the Storm stuff from Blizzcon as well, oh my, wow, it looks amazing. And what I love about it is they don't just take League of Legends and then make a copy of it with a bit higher fidelity or anything like that. They change everything almost. It's not the usual lane-based last kill experience game type of game. There's a huge amount of extra gameplay.
It's crazy. It's completely insane. I
think Wizards of the Coast with Magic the Gathering need to be a little bit concerned that Blizzard's coming into their genre now, because I think it's going to really go places if Blizzard put their minds to it. So yeah, pretty exciting.
Well, and it's free to play. I mean, it's free to play. It doesn't cost you anything to get in. You don't have to have any of their paid games. You don't have to buy anything from them. I mean, you can start up an account tomorrow, download Hearthstone and not have to pay a dime. So yeah, it's definitely intriguing. And with we'll talk about it later, but with the whole professional scene that seems to be starting up, that's going to be a pretty big thing too. So, but we'll get to that at some point here.
What's exciting though is the fact that I think Blizzard have been quite clever about Hearthstone, because they built it around sort of World of Warcraft. And I think with Heroes of the Storm as well, I think that's also going to be free to play, but I'm not sure yet. But I think they sounds like. Yeah, I think.
I would imagine, being that they're going up against Dota 2 and League of Legends, which are both free to play MOBAs, it would be a little crazy for them not to.
Well, what's so clever with them about these games? I think that making those two games, they loss leaders. Essentially, they don't care if those games make money or not. But it introduces people interested in those genres of games into World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Warcraft for free, and potentially pushes more gamers to those games, which is really cool.
Right.
So I think they're just clever that way. But yeah, I'm hogging the action.
No.
Okay,
this is good. So the next big thing that I was really excited about, there was a huge. Actually, what's unfortunate is that the information actually got leaked. Just a few days, I actually did a write-up on the website about it. There was a leak about the details of what Blizzard was going to be released. But the thing that I was really excited and kind of interested in was the special card. If you were attending BlizzCon or bought the virtual ticket, you got a special Hearthstone card, which turns out to be, as the leak was correct, the Elite Tauren Chieftain. Or ETC, I know, right? The band Elite Tauren Chieftain has a Hearthstone card, so that's pretty cool.
Have you guys gotten yours yet? I haven't. How are they giving
no.
They haven't released it to the people with virtual tickets yet, but anyone who was, at BlizzCon, they got the promo code in their goodie bag, or however they're giving it out. I don't know, but virtual ticket people will be receiving it in the near future.
Oh, well.
We don't have them yet.
But do you know if the people that actually signed... Because I haven't seen anybody play it. I haven't heard of anybody getting it. I don't know if they've dished any of that out yet, to be honest with you.
No,
I think they're going to wait for the next update.
At BlizzCon, they gave people a sort of a code or something, I think, to claim it.
Right.
Yeah, they did.
But not the virtual ticket, guys.
Yeah. We're basically supposed to get an email at some point from Blizzard that says, hey, thanks for coming virtually. Here's a Torrent Chieftain.
Cool. So the details are fun. This is the kind of card that I like. I like random cards. I like cards that do things to anybody and everybody in the game. So it's broken down into 3 different things. So we got 3. You have the potential basically to receive 1 of 3 cards, both of you. So you and your opponent will, once this is played, will receive 1 of 3 cards. We've got Rogues Do It ... which was we know how that ends. Yes, it's deal 4 damage and draw a card, which is
awesome.
Pretty fun there.
And they're all
Power
3
of the
mana,
Horde.
I believe.
What's that?
They're all 3 mana as well, I believe.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know that. So, Power of the Horde. So summon a random Horde warrior. Don't know what that's gonna look like as far as do you guys know of any details on what the strength of that thing is gonna be?
I didn't hear a lot of talk about it. I would imagine that it would have to do with something like, summoning a Korkron Elite or the Injured Blade Master or something of that nature.
So something that already exists. You don't think it's going to be a specific
I don't think it's
special
going to be
card?
any magic crazy card. Yeah, no.
And then I am Murloc.
Murloc.
Which is going to this is a wow. That was interesting.
That was good, right?
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
good.
I hate Murlocs personally, so
It's not cool,
that sound just makes me sick. I have been killed by them more times than I care to share. So
But you got your
this
Merkabah.
one,
How can you hate that?
he's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway,
This card is going to be a B. I'll just say that.
crazy.
Summon 3, 4, or 5 1/1 Murlocs.
It is a deck swarm. I love it.
Gosh, that is
Yeah.
gonna. I've been playing a lot lately, and I've seen a lot of Warlock Murloc decks.
Yeah.
So Warlock.
Dude, when was the last time you talked?
And it is they're really annoying. And this card, if they randomly get that card, I might just concede right then and there.
Yeah.
That is the most
deck
annoying
with
thing.
I am Murloc.
Oh, what a nightmare! So I'm not looking forward to that. But Gareth, I mean, where do you see these cards fitting into your decks? Do you see it? You got a spot for these?
This is the type of card that people put in their deck for fun. This is not something that you put in because you plan on having a good, wonderful
agree.
strategic play behind. I mean, what if the guy gets deal 4 damage and you can't plan around this stuff. So you've no idea. I mean, yeah. It's If you plan a deck around Elite or Chieftain,
That's why.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, that's why it's a promo card.
Yeah.
Not everyone's gonna have it. They can't make it something that's ridiculously overpowered.
Yeah.
So people feel like they have to go to BlizzCons and stuff if they want to be competitive in Hearthstone.
Yeah.
It's got to be fun. It's got to be RNG, and I
And
think they did a great job with it.
I think the graphics are awesome on it. I mean, the intro when you drop this card. So if I can find
total rock and roll.
if I can find a video of it, I might actually cut it into the video podcast so people can see it. But it's pretty damn cool. It's really a really cool card. I love it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so more announcements, yeah? Mind Control.
You called it,
Mr. Wright over here.
right?
Yeah.
If you read our Mind Games post on Hearthstone Elite, I go ahead and I talk about how Mind Control is pretty overpowered in my opinion. I know that Gareth disagrees, but apparently Blizzard agrees. They felt that Mind Control needed a nerf, and their decision was, instead of going for a turn-based thing or anything like that, they just bumped up to 10 mana instead of 8. So you have to wait until your 10th turn to play this card, and if you do, that is it. That's your turn. What do you guys think the implications of this is?
I don't think they did enough. I'm going to be honest. 10 mana The only advantage this gives you, if you drop your big guy at turn, if you got the coin and you drop your big legendary 8 mana cost card on turn 7, that gives you 2 turns, and then the priest takes it, which is better, but it's not. I don't know if it's enough, to be perfectly honest. So if you're playing as the priest, I'm going to drop it now. In 2 turns, he's going to take it. So I need to make sure this thing has done it's done what it's needed to and dies before turn 10.
Yeah.
Which
definitely.
I don't know if it's enough.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I almost it's playing against it is gonna be an interesting. I mean, playing against it already is just kind of terrible sometimes, but. Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to. I mean, the other thing that you could just, the way that I've kind of tried to do it, especially late game, is I always try and bait it if I can. Hold a couple really low level cards, in some medium level, taunts or something like that, and just throw them out there, and hopefully, if he's cleared my board, hopefully he'll just go for it and burn it. But at 10 mana, people are going to be holding on to that sucker for a while.
Yeah, they're going to be using it on the best of the best that you can offer.
And this actually kind of comes back and plays. I think what's going to be kind of nice about this being 10 mana though, is if you're one of the people that strategically watches your opponent's hover glow, you might actually be able to uncover if this thing's sitting in there. If that card hasn't moved ever, and you're moving along, you might even be able to tell that and expect it in a way. And maybe keep one of those instant kill cards around.
Just really quickly to interject for people who don't know what hover glow is, in Hearthstone, you can see what your opponent is looking at. So if they're looking at one of your cards, that card will glow because your opponent's mouse is.
Yeah, it's like an orange. It's like an orangey red glow around the outside.
So if they're looking through their deck, if you see them, keeping their mouse over one card, that's a card they don't really know if they're going to be playing, or they're holding on to. They're debating it coming out. It's something you want to pay attention to, because it kind of gives you almost a look into past what your opponent's poker face would be. Where if they didn't hover glow over anything, you have no idea what's going on in their mind. But if they do, kind of can get an idea of what they're thinking about and what their next play might be. So
well, I mean, and you got to think too. Blizzard built this in specifically, right? I mean, they could have just not put in anything that shows you what your person's looking at. But that's the thing about CCGs, especially, is because this is one of the first ones where you're not able to see your opponent. And if you've ever played, back in the Magic days and things like that, seeing somebody face to face is completely different. You can see them, manipulating their cards and moving the cards around in their hands and things like that, and you can look for just the way that the person plays. Just like poker, like you said, there's a poker tells. People touch their face and rub their nose and do things like that to kind of tell when this might be that kind of thing. One thing that I've kind of used it for is you can kind of tell when you're playing somebody who might be a little new, or maybe just have made this deck and doesn't know it that well, because you can tell that they read every single card, before they make a play. So it can be useful.
Well, I really like hover glow when I play a card that, let's say I've got a fresh new golden, and it's a golden not a lot of people see. I like throwing it out there and people going, what is that? And they mouse over it. They're looking at it. They're watching the glow going, and they're like, yeah, I got that card. No big deal. No big deal.
It also goes back to where Blizzard were talking about at the Fireside Dev Chat, which, by the way, we live vlogged, so if you want play-by-play, go check the site. But anyway, I'll stop,
We'll stop plugging.
Yeah, stop plugging. So they were talking about how they like to make the game as physical as possible. It's a digital card game, but they like to try and make it as physical and real world as they can. So having the hover glow is a big deal for that, because like we all said, if you're playing against someone face to face, you can see them looking at their cards and picking one out and considering and putting it back. So that's the same kind of thing that you can do in Hearthstone as well. You actually see a card hover over the table as the guy decides whether he really wants to play it or not, for example. I mean, and like you said, with new players, I've also found a lot of new players, you'll see things like a card will come out of his deck and the arrow will come out that does an effect, like a spell card. And now he's got a spell card. But then he puts it back.
Well,
and then he'll take another one and put it back. And, so you can also read that kind of stuff, which is actually really cool, I think.
Yeah, that's an awesome piece of gaming essence that Blizzard has twisted up inside this bad boy. It's totally cool.
Definitely. So, well, that's it. So we're going to be seeing Mind Control 10 mana coming to a Hearthstone table near you.
They announced a couple other nerfs at BlizzCon.
Yeah,
right?
Gareth. There's the Starving Buzzard nerf, and I don't know. I don't play. I think isn't that a hunter card, or is that just?
Yeah,
it is. Okay, yeah.
It is a hunter card.
I haven't ventured into the world of hunter. I played a couple times, got my face smashed, and backed out. So I haven't gotten too detailed into that. So I'm going to let Gareth kind of explain the situation there and what the ramifications for that.
Can I start it?
Yeah, Steve, you can start it.
Okay. So basically, what Starving Buzzard is a hunter-specific card. It is a beast, and its card effect is that anytime you play a beast card as your hunter, I don't know if it counts for your opponent as well.
No, friendly
but anytime
beast.
a beast card is played, it's just you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so anytime you play a beast card, Starving Buzzard lets you draw a card. It's a great card draw card, and it is being nerfed from a 2/2. I forget the mana cost. I believe the mana cost is 3.
2.
Gareth, is that correct?
2.
2. Okay, so it was a 2/2/2 card, and is now being nerfed to a 2 mana, 2 attack, 1 health. Correct?
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
So go ahead and
Well-
explain to everyone what that means, because we're not as intelligent.
Well, the big, yeah, I'm totally. The big meta right now in Hearthstone is a hunter deck called the one-turn kill deck, and what that basically is, and Starving Buzzard was like a linchpin of that kind of style of play. And the basic idea is that round about turn 7, hunters will go ahead and drop a Starving Buzzard, and then their deck is pretty much full of 1 mana cost beasts. So at that point, they might have 2 or 3 1 mana cost beasts, so they drop 1, draw a card, drop the next one, draw a card, drop the next one, draw a card, and they keep doing this until they've only 1 mana left, and then they use an Unleash the Hounds and kill you. Done. That's it. They win the game. Because Unleash the Hounds, for anybody who doesn't know, it essentially gives all your beasts +1 attack and charge, so that they can attack immediately. So it's a pretty killer combination. But they
also nerfed. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think they also mentioned that they were gonna nerf.
Unleash the Hounds.
Yeah,
but
Unleash the Hounds, but they didn't know what they were gonna do with it yet. But
Yeah.
they knew that they wanted to because it seemed broken.
Yeah, and the thing is, nerfing the Starving Buzzard doesn't really affect that one-turn kill play. Nerfing Unleash the Hounds definitely does. But I'm not sure exactly why they were nerfing Starving Buzzard, to be perfectly honest, because the only reason I can think of is that if you look at most cards that are 2/2 for 2, their card effects are nowhere near as strong as the Starving Buzzard. They're either a taunt, or they're just a battle cry, or something like that. But 2/2 for 2 and card draw every time you drop a beast is pretty damn powerful.
Yep.
So I think that's the only reason.
If it's an OTK deck, which, by the way, for those who don't know, is a one-turn kill deck. I mean, it doesn't even matter if they nerf it, because they're just going to play it,
And
use
you
it
die.
for the card draw, and then end the game. So why does it matter?
So yeah, I don't think it's for the one-turn kill deck. Unleash the Hounds nerf will be, but I think this is because of just because it's a 2/2 for 2 with such massive card draw. So it's equivalent almost to having like
true.
a 4/4 for 2 or a 3/3 for 2 because of that massive card draw. So
Did they affect the? I didn't hear. I don't remember them saying this, but did they increase the mana cost or anything at all, or is it just 2/1 from 2/2?
It's just a 2/1. So I think it's for the longer games. It makes it a bit easier for people to kill off. So if the hunter drops it on turn 2 or turn 1 with coin with only 1 health, it's a hell of a lot easier to pick off now.
Yeah,
That's really
makes
it.
sense.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. It's going to be wrapped up in some of those AOE type of attacks to wipe the board and things like that. Is maybe where it wouldn't have been in the past. I don't know.
Or the Mage Fire Blast and
so-
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you can take it out a little bit easier with that. So the next big thing were the ranking changes.
Ranking.
I am so
There's-
happy. Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot with this going on here.
It's a new game.
I know. Well, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I don't know why I'm so scared to get into arena. I mean, I have some skills.
It's not
It's
arena.
nerve-wracking.
It is.
Well, no. I mean,
Well,
just
partly.
even in ranked games. I don't know. I guess I'm scared for it to record how much I suck sometimes. So, because I can see those scores later
Proud
on down
of
the
being
road.
bad.
Yeah,
Proud of
no,
being bad.
I don't know. I haven't really ventured into this much. I know that I am ranked. I think it's a terrible rank because I haven't really played it much. But I mean, I know what the details are. But Gareth, you're pretty into this, so why don't you give us a little bit of a breakdown of what all these ranking changes mean? The only one I'm excited about is the card backs, but I'll let you explain that.
Well,
Gareth's got the best voice, so we let him explain it.
Oh.
I know. I love hearing him explain
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Welcome to the days of never mind. So
To the days of our lives.
the current
It's a bad show.
the current system now that they've got for ranking is actually pretty bad in my opinion, because they've got I can't remember the exact number, but it's like they've got journeyman, I've got apprentice, journeyman, copper, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and master, and 3 stars in each. But it makes no sense, because the only guide that they give you right now, the way the game currently is that you need to win games to get ranked up. They don't tell you how many games you need. They don't tell you what the thresholds are to get switch between the different ranks. You just need to keep playing and hoping at some point you'll go up in rank. I mean, I've been sitting on 3-star diamond now for about a month and a half, and
I don't talk about my rank.
I have no idea how much more I need to play to get to the next rank. It's ridiculous. So what's cool about the new system is that it's not just those 7 or 8 ranks that I mentioned, but they're breaking it up into 25 new ranks, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And each one, I mean, it starts at rank 1, which rank 25, which is the angry chicken. So each of the ranks is like a little mascot, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Each rank is its own individual minion.
Yeah.
And it goes all the way up. Sorry, I feel like I wanted to talk. So
Steal the show.
Basically, yeah. No, I'm not stealing the show.
Hey, it's your show.
All right. It's not our show.
It's my
so you
show.
can,
I say what I want.
Embezzlement.
No, there's 25 ranks. There's a different minion for every single level. Starts with the angry chicken, works all the way up to rank number 1, where you become the Hearthstone innkeeper. Is the little, the guy who opened the show. The Scottish guy, dwarf. Yeah. Anyway, he's rank 1. After you get past that, what would technically be rank 0. Why don't you go ahead and take over, because I'm losing my train of thought and I love you.
Well, what's cool is just to go back slightly. What's cool with the way you rank up with each of these new ranks is that you need to win 6 games in that rank to advance to the next one. So if you're rank 25 and you win 6 games, you'll actually see each of your wins as part of that rank, because you get these little star icons that they've shown us. So you rank 25, you're starting from scratch. You win a game, you get 1 star gets filled in. You win 2 games, your second one, and so on. And then you get to you win your 6th one, and you go up to rank 24. But the cool thing is, if you lose a game, it goes down 1 star. So you can continuously keep track of how many games you need to win to get to the next rank, and see why you rank down as well when you lose one, which is awesome. It's actually
really
giving
quickly,
you
though,
feedback.
But right now though, you can't go backwards in rank, correct?
You can't, no, which I think is a bad
Yeah,
idea.
okay, that's what I thought. So you can
It's like
once
the
you
original
attain
Halo.
once you attain the highest level, you stay there even if the next 50 games in a row you lose.
Yeah, but
Right? Okay.
right now, the way the game is right now. But the other nice thing that they're doing is that I think it's nice, some people might not, but they're also doing a monthly wipe. Not a wipe,
Yes.
a
the
monthly
arena resets,
reset.
just like World of Warcraft.
Seasons.
Yeah, season resets, which is, I think, and it's not just for the arena in Hearthstone, but it's also for these the ranked play. But for people who are really awesome at the game, I'm hoping that'll be me. You like
It's definitely not me.
Steve alluded to Steve alluded to his rank 0 in quotes, because
What?
that's called
Oh, right.
it's called the
I
Legends
thought you were
rank.
saying I was rank 0, like I was really bad. But
No.
I see where you're going with this.
It's called the
If rank 0 was bad, that would be me, though. But go ahead.
okay. Well, it's called Legends rank. They're calling it, and the idea there is that if you get into Legends rank, you stay there permanently. You actually never leave it. No matter when they do the ladder resets, you don't get reset back to rank 25. You stay in Legends rank, and there as well you get told what your what did you call it? What your rank inside that rank
Your
is.
region rank, I guess?
Um,
region rank? I like the way that sounds. We'll say region rank.
So basically, if you're in Legends and you're like number 250, that means you're the 250th best player in your region, which is kind of cool. I like that idea.
Yeah.
So I'm liking these ranking changes. It sounds like a lot of fun, and I love the feedback because right now I don't know. Tell me, how many more do I need to win?
It's got to be crazy to just be leveling up and be completely random. I don't have to worry about that because I never level up because I lose every game.
Well, and you want to be able to paint a target on the back, of the people in your area, and because that comes along with going back to the whole CCG thing. It does mean something. I mean, if you remember, if you played Magic back in the day, you'd sit down at the table, with across from the guy who's the best Magic player at your library, or whatever, and
general nerd gathering.
Yeah, he's the epic nerd guy at your school or whatever, and it does something to you. It puts a little bit of maybe some doubt. You may, I don't know, it can do things to you mentally, so there's a mental side of it, and I think that goes along with the other thing that you haven't really mentioned yet, but is the card backs. The card backs that are attainable. What's going to be neat is when when you sit down to play Hearthstone, you hit the roll, you get a random player, and they've got one of the the special card backs. You automatically know they've reached a rank.
Yeah.
Pretty significantly high.
And you're scared.
So you're hoping exactly. Yeah. You're that their skill level's probably pretty high to achieve that, and now what do you do, right?
Well,
now you're not only, it's not only going to be a random game like it normally is, but now you're playing somebody who's definitely got some market skill.
I think though they said that the card backs are based on season, so you get the option for different card backs depending on which season you took part in. So I don't think it's linked to rank, actually.
But I thought you had to achieve a certain rank in that season to get the card back.
Yeah,
I don't think they just.
Yeah,
I don't think they're just handing them out.
Yeah, basically you have to hit a certain rank in the season in order to be able to use it. That makes sense.
The other cool thing is that they're not doing is they are resetting the rankings every season, but they're not resetting the MMR, the matchmaking rating, which is incredibly important because if a player gets into Legends and a new player starts the game, the last thing you want is this Legends rank player or just previous to Legends rank player coming in and wiping the floor with all the new players. So that matchmaking is vitally important. I mean, they're not resetting that, thank goodness. So
right.
But what does that mean for legendary players? I mean, they won all the games, from level 25 to, level 1. They just missed Legends, and now they have to work their way all the way back up from level 25.
Yeah, that's
playing people who are rank 1.
I think it's kind of cool though. It's a nice.
It'll definitely make him a better player in the end, but I could see someone who's really good at the game, who was just short of Legends, getting reset, and then all of a sudden he's got a buddy he plays with, and or he's on forums or something whining that he was ranked 1 and we're 4 weeks into the season and he's only rank 18. Meanwhile, there's people who didn't get out of rank 25 who are now only playing rank 25 people and are almost Legends. Like, does that make sense?
Well,
I think that they would have to have a sort of price, a price for your, based on your level. So like, if you were rank 25 and someone beats you in a different MMR, it's worth more, so you go up faster. Like if you, I don't know. It's interesting.
I think the idea is based around WoW's arena. Like, you gain rating based on wins. Not, I haven't actually played the PvP a lot in WoW, so forgive me if I'm really upsetting people out there. But I'm not sure if it's related to the other team's rank rating in WoW. I think it's based just on wins, isn't it?
It's based on in World of Warcraft Arena. Your ranking is based on. It's based on wins and losses. When you win a game, you get rank. When you lose a game, you lose rank. But the amount that you're boosted in ranking is determined by who you're matched with.
Okay,
so let's say you're an 1800 arena ranking player, and no one in 1800 bracket is online at the time, so you get thrown in a game with someone who is, 400 ranking and you beat them, you probably won't even gain any rating. You might get 1 point.
Yeah.
But if you're, ranked 600 and you get paired with someone who's 1200 rating and you beat them, your arena score is going to be knocked up, 20, 30 points.
Yeah, but I think the reason they haven't done that though, Steve, they spend a lot of time talking in the dev chat on at BlizzCon about how they're trying to keep the game simple. So I think if they try to do that, then you start losing that feedback that the system's giving you again, because you're like, okay, if I beat this guy, am I going to get 2, 3, 4 stars? If I lose, am I going to lose 7? How is this going to affect me? Now at least every time you play, I'm either going to go up 1 star or down 1 star, depending on whether I win or lose. But I mean, as far as the whole, I think the whole point of this, they've got the monthly seasons, so it's like I'm taking part in this season of play, so I'm going to try and get to the Legends rank, and if I don't make it, there's next season. I think that's what they're aiming for, kind of, to make it a monthly
Simpler
competition.
Is better, definitely, for this game. That makes sense. I agree with that. Okay. So what else do we have to talk about with our ranking changes?
So,
we've covered the card backs. We've covered the new ranking system with Legends and Legendary.
Arena.
We have covered the Arena. Wait.
Yeah, let's see.
The new keys.
I think that's pretty much. I mean, the new keys.
They just-
I mean, again,
that's right.
That's
That's
something
right,
I don't
the
really
keys.
know a ton about.
It's just 3 new keys.
There's just 3 new keys?
Yep.
I thought they said they were going to 25 wins.
No, they
alright,
bumped
yeah,
it up to 12. Yeah, with 3 new keys.
to 12 wins? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was for that. I'm sorry. I heard 20 wins. I heard, whatever. I'm the idiot of the podcast.
And I was the one that was up at 2 a.m. trying to live blog this, but hey.
Yeah. Okay, so, I mean, basically, then, Gareth, if you want to just explain, I mean, is that really it?
That's it.
They're just adding 3 more keys? Are
With
they,
extra loot, and
making
that's
the extra loot? Do we know what the extra loot is? Like, if you get 12 wins, do you get 2 packs of cards instead of 1? Do you
no
get
word.
a gold?
It's random. It's random, just like it is now. I mean, every time you get to a new key, what's in the little packages is just a whole lot more.
Yeah.
You get more coins or more crafting stuff or more
Dust.
packs.
Dust.
I can
know
only
that.
imagine
It's
the
dust.
higher you go.
I hate to admit this,
Yeah.
but you can always get at least 1 pack of cards out of Arena, even if you win no games. Don't ask me how I know.
Exactly.
Don't ask me how
That's
I know.
why I always
but-
play it. That's why I always play it. You never know how far you're going to go. You could win your gold back, be able
Yep.
to play another arena.
But you'll always get a
I
card
never
pack.
make it that far. But
Yeah, that's why it's
more
a
fun
really
for me
smart. It's a really smart way to do arena. I mean, if the cost to get an arena is the same cost as it's the same cost as a pack, correct?
Yeah, it is.
Gosh, man, I really see. The thing is, I don't play arena. I just don't know any of this stuff, man.
I love the arena. See, I like the arena because it brings everyone down to my level. All the cards are completely random. So,
This is
every
true.
single person has to... I mean, it's based on your decision, but I feel like I can make a lot better decisions on the 3 cards that are put in front of me rather than my entire book of cards and having to pick and piece together and
Yeah.
strategize. I'm sorry, I'm not that guy. I've got attention problems. I'm bad at the game as it is. 3 cards, I'll take my cards and I'll take my chances. That's it.
Yeah,
Right.
I love the constructed deck play though, because I like to be able to, build a deck that I can, I synergize well with, and I plan this. I've got this combo, So I actually tend to suck quite badly at arena, to be honest.
That's why
I'm
you're
really
a
bad.
smart guy. See, good at random, good at being smart. That's the
Yeah.
difference. You and me.
But so yeah. Well, the next thing, I guess the thing I would say probably the thing that I was most excited about at BlizzCon, me personally, was the
Was
Invitational.
the expansion launch, right? The expansion.
No,
I'm kidding,
No,
I'm kidding.
Yeah, no,
I'm kidding.
don't get me started. Don't get me started on that. No,
Yeah.
the
We're a
Hearthstone
Hearthstone
Invitational,
podcast, people.
the Hearthstone Invitational was probably the most exciting thing for me anyway. Watching that final match with Artosis and Crip was pretty intense.
Yeah.
But the thing that for me watching from the whole thing, I watched it front to back, and then I watched it again I think personally the thing that really made it the most exciting was the shoutcasting.
Mm-hmm.
That to me
By far.
was just
By far.
and what was key though was the knowledge of the people doing it, because
I learned
it was
so much.
right.
So much.
See, the
Just
same
from
thing
the
with me. What was cool is because every time a play was made on the board, it was almost exactly what they were saying.
Yeah.
Shoutcasting it, and
I was sitting there watching, thinking to myself, by the way, if you're listening to this, I believe the Hearthstone Invitational was freely streamed. Anyone could watch it, right?
it was
Mm-hmm.
and all of the competitive gaming was. Yeah.
Well, the finals, none of the first round games for the Hearthstone Invitational were streamed at all. So for anybody, nobody
Right,
gets
that
to watch
one.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, and there was somebody was really upset about that. I forget
Me.
who mentioned it, but somebody was pretty upset that didn't get.
Me.
Gareth.
No, but somebody legitimate was pretty upset about it. I know.
wait, did you
I went
just-
there.
did you just take a shot at it?
I might have. I
Oh,
shot a
I'm a
missile. I
fake.
sent a missile over to South Africa right there. Sorry, but
Ooh, that's bad.
no,
That's bad.
but somebody. I remember reading something about. I think it was supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be aired at some point, but it wasn't for some reason. But that's a whole different thing. So going back to what I was saying,
Shoutcasters.
yes,
I was shocked these guys weren't playing the game themselves. I mean, why were these guys not in the tournament? They knew everything. They knew what the players were going to do before the players knew what they were going to do.
They did. It was pretty intense. I was really impressed. And for me, being an amateur player, obviously who's not very good,
I'm an amateur player.
It really showed me, I guess for me, it made me step back and look at how I thought about cards. I was more of a reactive player. I think before watching this, and now I'm a little bit more, not as so much reactive, but a little bit more preemptive and really thinking about, do I have, even the term, do I have what do they call it, lethal? Do I have enough damage here?
Yeah.
Can I make enough damage here to end this game, or to to put them back on their heels? If they're building up steam. And it was interesting to watch, because there was a lot of major buff sequences in some of those decks that I they're, now that I look at them, they're pretty basic, really, it seems, but I just was never thinking that way.
Well,
and now,
And
I've learned a ton.
The announcers and even the really, really skilled players, like when you were watching, Artosis and Crypt play, they take it to such a higher level. I mean, I play like you. I'm reactive. I'll blow, a Shadow Word Death on a throwaway card just to get it off the board, because that's what I have in my hand that will counter it at the time. These guys will take 2 or 3 turns of damage in order to save that card for the big monster that is the whole reason they put it in their deck for.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like chess. They're thinking 10, 12 turns ahead.
Well, that's the other thing that I noticed too, is for me anyway, I think I overly guard my health in the game. I'm not one to give up even a point of damage if I can help it. So, if I have a weapon, on my warrior or whatever, and I know that I'm going to take damage because I don't have enough armor up to block it all, I shy away from that, but they're very aggressive with that. When it comes down to, I'm going to take 5 damage, but I'm going to kill that thing off, I'm going to do it, and it's critical.
The basic idea with that is that, they're thinking usually with stuff like that tends to be, if I use this weapon now and take the 5 damage now, that stops me from taking 5 damage later, and then potentially again and again and again. That's usually the thinking. You get rid of it now and only get that damage once.
They have almost an opposite mentality of what I had,
Exactly.
which was keep me safe and throw away my minions in order to keep my health safe, when they throw their health away in order to keep their minions safe.
Yep.
Because that's where the damage is at the end
Minions
of the day.
win you the game. Yeah, that's the basic idea. Minions just win you the game. So you can be down. I've seen people play, and I've actually had 10 skims myself, where you get down to 1 health, and just because you've got awesome board control and he's got nothing left to play, you win the game anyway. So it gets pretty intense, and I actually love that because if you're watching, especially pros play, and you see this guy going down, he's at 20 health, he's at 15 health, he's down to 1 health.
That's when
and oh my god, he just came back! He just won the game for 1 health! Oh my god! It makes it exciting.
Yeah, they just turn it around in a turn.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. And I mean, what is really cool though is Total Biscuit being one of the casters for these games. He,
I love that guy.
Gareth.
He is just
like Gareth. That's why.
He is non-stop rapid fire. I don't know. He's just very skilled. I should say he's just very skilled.
He talks fast.
He's
just
just
quick and articulate, and I like him.
He did actually a vlog as well shortly after BlizzCon talking about the game and about shoutcasting the games. And because he normally does commentating for StarCraft games, so he was talking about how different it is because usually with StarCraft games, if you watch the esports,
you're talking as fast as you can.
Me,
just
play
by play.
Yeah, he was saying usually you've got two casters there. One guy is quite good on the strategy side, and one guy is kind of the play-by-play guy who. And usually with StarCraft, and he's quite right about this. If you watch a game, you've got maybe your strategy guys talking while there's a lull in the game, describing to people what the players are thinking, what they're planning, and what their build's going to do. And then you can see he has an army and it's approaching and it's getting close and they're going to take any minute. So the strategy guy can see this, finishes off what he's saying, lets the play-by-play guy take over. All the action happens. The play-by-play guy goes crazy, telling you what's happening and what's dying and what's killing. And then the action ends and he wraps up what he's saying. The strategy guy can take over again. So, there's quite clear separation between what you are going to talk about and what you're going to talk about and when we're going to do this. But he was saying with Hearthstone, it's incredibly difficult because sometimes these players, a player ends a turn, bang, bang, end turn, the next play is finished. You don't really get a chance to talk, and then the next player comes and bang, bang, end turn. Whoa, okay, we need to talk about all this stuff that just happened.
While the game's still taking place, though, that's the crazy part.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is normally in the lulls, there's that banter that goes on between them, and sometimes you just don't even have time. It's all of a sudden. I mean, these games, and then again, these games are very short. They're designed to fit in a 15-minute window. They're designed to be very, very quick. So I think they have a lot less time to do that kind of stuff as well. But
the other major downside though that he mentioned is that there is no spectator mode in the game yet. So at that tournament, they were reliant on the production team switching cameras between each player for them. So they couldn't see. While we might be seeing one thing, they couldn't see the other player's hand. They had to wait for the production team to now switch the views to the other guy's hand to see what card he drew to talk about it. And if they didn't do it quickly enough, well, what are we going to say?
Well,
what's happening?
Yeah, they're gonna just like they do with StarCraft. I mean, the StarCraft, they're playing in a special instance that's got the scoreboards up on top, and there's a lot of overlays, and I mean they're going to build that in. This is their first run. This was kind of their dipping the toe into the pool, so to say, as far as figuring out. Yeah, they're trying to figure out what's going on, but now I think, especially with which is going to be my next subject, with the MLG and Mana Grind coming together. And really looking like this is going to take off. I mean, they're filling up these tournaments every week. For players, and I think there's a lot of people that are saying this is going to be a big professional gaming thing. So I mean, somebody was saying at some point one of the Blizzard people was talking about they're going to if the player base takes it to a professional level and wants to have a tournament level, they're going to build the tools for it just like they have with all their games. So I think we're going to start seeing some really cool spectator modes coming out of this, and then especially when it really starts going pro, we're going to see some really cool tools that are going to make it probably look really neat, and you'll be able to see both decks and all that stuff. So I think that's coming soon.
Yeah, hope so.
Speaking of Mana Grind and MLG and that, Gareth, weren't you in one of their tournaments?
Yeah, I decided to take part.
You didn't do too bad.
Well,
you did better than I would have done.
Well, it was anybody who doesn't know the tournament format that they're running, it's single elimination, 128 players to start, so 7 rounds. There's basically 7 rounds until the finals is the 7th round, and it's best of 3 each play.
Wow, so you played
each
a lot
match.
of games then, huh?
Yeah. Well,
I think you said you made it to 4th string, right?
Yeah, I made it to the 4th round, which I guess is okay.
That's not bad. That's
I was
halfway
pretty.
there.
I was pretty excited. So yeah, I wasn't expecting it.
You were better than a good majority of the players actually by making it to 4th string. You should
Well-
keep going. You should keep going.
Well, the problem.
Apoptosis, take down crit.
The problem with the system that they've got though is that usually it's first come first serve. So they open up the what do you call
the
that?
floodgates.
Yeah, they let anybody
Floodgates.
register like beforehand, but they have a specific where you an hour before things start they open up the I can't remember what it's called now.
Raid chat, TeamSpeak.
No, you have to confirm that you're there and you're going to play. I can't remember what it's called now. Anyway, it's beyond me, but. So
Whatever.
you kind of have to wait for the clock to
Semantics.
tick over and that thing to open, and then you click and you say I'm here, and then you're in. So the first 128 players that do that end up playing. So if you're an awesome player and you're late by 10 minutes, you're out. Sorry, you can't. There's no space.
Gotta be timely.
Yeah,
Set the alarms.
That's pretty bad, but yeah. So
Okay, so I mean, do you want to go? You want me to go?
I'm done.
I'll go.
I'm done.
Okay. Well, bottom line, MLG and Mana Grind, they're kind of the biggest ones pushing the tournament scene, and if they can get a big enough following, because I mean I love watching games on Twitch.
So do I.
Anyone who participated in BlizzCon this year, I would be shocked to find out that they missed the Hearthstone Invitational, because I mean even behind the announcers, they even announced it. They were like, look how many people showed up to the Hearthstone Invitational. I think more people showed up to it than the World of Warcraft arena tournament thing.
Probably.
So people are interested, and it's definitely there. If they can get a platform, how League of Legends has a spectator mode, how the arena system that they have and StarCraft has a spectator mode. If they can put a spectator mode in this, you just got 2 players on one side. They got their decks up. It'd blow up.
Well, I
It'd
think
blow up like fireworks.
what Blizzard have done with BlizzCon in this tournament is I think they deliberately decided to put this in and make it available to everybody, and then somebody was sitting and really watching the numbers very carefully to see how high this would get and how popular it is. Because this would be a great. Well, they want to see how much, and I think they realize now that it's pretty damn popular, so they're going to try and make sure that Hearthstone on release or shortly after will have the spectator mode built in. Because if they can provide that functionality, it'll push tournament play even further. So
that's exciting. That's exciting.
Definitely.
Just because even if they have a spectator mode that's kind of like a theater, where you can watch your past games and see the cards your teammate was pulling.
Oh, I'd love replays.
Replays would be awesome.
Oh,
They
that
would
would
be
be
awesome.
huge.
Everybody
Yeah,
wants replays,
yeah.
even if it only saved like your last 2
Post-
games.
Yeah,
Post-match
that's
analysis.
I always reference like Halo 3, how they have that theater mode where it'll automatically save like 3 or 4 games, but then you can say, "Oh no, I want to keep that game. Let the other ones go." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that will be cool. A replay would be pretty intense.
Yeah. It would be awesome to watch and see like that one point where you realized, game was over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if you had, or you see the card that he draws that you thought was a different card, and okay, next time that happens, if I had played this, I would have won. It's just, those are two critical things this game needs. It needs theater mode, it needs spectator mode, because
Definitely.
I mean,
we've even
awesome.
we've even between the 3 of us, we've talked about trying to run tournaments as well, and how we'd ever get that right, because you can't see both players' hands at the same time, and then we thinking about, well, maybe if we force every player to stream their deck, and then we take their streams and we put them together and cut them and then splice them and stream out and commentate. It's an absolute nightmare.
Basically, by the time the streams got to you guys, it'd be like 4 pixels. So
and 2 minutes old.
Yeah.
And it'd be 2 weeks later.
Yeah, exactly.
So then the last thing, we gotta kind of move on for time.
Woohoo.
But the last thing is that mystery button that's been sitting there on the Hearthstone, the main screen there.
I don't know if when this thing gets put together, hopefully we can fade to that and show everybody this beautiful little button.
We will try.
Yeah, well, if you're playing Hearthstone, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, there's 3
but it
buttons,
sounds like
area.
Yeah, it sounds like it's finally got a name, which is Adventure Mode.
Adventure Mode.
And that's the name of the episode, being Let the Adventure Begin. This is kind of the synopsis of that. So yeah, so adventure mode is on its way, which is exciting. That's something that we've been talking about a little bit, and I've heard some other people in the community kind of talking about, a different, one player mode. Hopefully that doesn't require you to have any type of internet connection, that you can play, especially when this thing goes mobile. It'd be great to have, on your mobile device if you're not near an internet connection, you don't want to play somebody, but a one player mode is definitely fun. So Gareth, why don't you give us a little bit of a breakdown on that?
Well, PvE in Hearthstone is going to be enormous because this finally gives anybody, even if you don't like playing against other people, you've got something to do. So it just makes the game that much broader, and a ton more people are going to play. But the cool thing is
raids for Hearthstone.
Yeah, pretty much. It's PvE. It's dungeoning, raiding, questing, whatever from World of Warcraft. But the cool thing is, if you want to get more people to play in the constructed or arena modes, get them into adventure mode. Let them experience the game that way. Let them play for a couple of weeks doing all these quests and awesome stuff, and then go
teaching them core mechanics.
I think I might actually try and play against somebody. You've just got yourself a new player in the game. It's awesome. I actually love this idea.
Yeah.
But the other cool thing is that they've told us is that adventure mode is going to be the crux of their expansions. So they've talked about releasing expansions in the future. And how
I want the Death Knight class. That's what I want.
I think we all want that.
And I want Death Knights. That's gotta happen.
Well,
gotta keep it true to World of Warcraft.
The really cool thing about the expansions though is that it's going to be mixed into adventure mode, because they've talked about how to introduce new mechanics and new cards without forcing people to buy a ton of packs to get all these new cards. So they've said adventure mode is going to be their way to do that. So if you're a player who doesn't spend a lot of money, you play adventure mode and you get yourself a few new cards. And I think they're actually going to end up having some cards and expansions you have to buy, but a fair amount of them is probably going to be available in adventure mode anyway, which is kind of cool.
Let me throw something out there, because it's probably the best way that they can implement new classes into the game, besides saying, hey, there's an expansion, buy the expansion, and you get, new classes. Where, let's say, they decide to include a Death Knight class, and I don't think that they would, they actually probably will. If there's a Death Knight class, you will be Arthas, and it would be so cool if, in adventure mode, you have to, because in order to unlock the normal classes, you have to defeat that class as, a computer-controlled character. So, you would go through the PvE content, play Arthas, kill him, and then you get to use the Death Knight class. I don't know how that would work with monks, because monks just kind of swam in, but I'm sure they could figure out some sort of, Sensei is teaching you how to play, and then you beat Sensei and you get him. I don't know. It's cool. I want PvE content. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, and you brought up, you actually kind of made it. I don't know if you noticed that you made this point, but you kind of made a good point, and the fact that the expansions or expanded characters, so like Death Knight and Monk and things like that. What would be interesting is if you actually could you would purchase those, right? Because obviously it's a free to play game, but that could be a purchasable expansion, because if I want to play Priest forever, then I'm not going to have to buy a Death Knight, right? But
there are purchasable expansions. I don't mean to cut you off there, but there's a game, what is it? DC Universe Online.
Yeah.
You can, purchase
World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
They're all that way, but I'm saying in a free to play game though, right? It technically the expansion should be free.
DCUO is free to play, but they have expansions that give you new characters, they give you new PvE content that you can only access with those expansions. So it's kind of like that, where basically instead of buying the class, they would, because it is a free to play game, they have to purchase it. They would buy the Death Knight expansion, whatever they call it, Lich King, why not?
Wrath of
Lich King they buy for Hearthstone. They charge them, whatever they charge for that, $10, $15. I don't know. And then you play through the PvE content, beat Arthas, and then you get to play Arthas. And, as a little sort of buy the expansion incentive, if someone's in Constructed, they can play people who have already unlocked Arthas. Now they're sitting there getting, beat by these new decks, and they're like, I think I need the expansion.
The other thing that I really hope is with adventure mode that they bring around cutscenes.
Yes.
Would be
I
kind of
really
cool.
want cutscenes,
Yes.
and I want now Blizzard. This is directly to you. I want legitimate CGI, awesome looking cutscenes. That's all I'm gonna say. Because if I start going down the road,
expansion.
if I start going down the road of another expansion cutscene that we might have also seen at BlizzCon, I'm gonna lose my stuff right here on our first video podcast.
What are you talking about? We care about Hearthstone, nothing else.
I'm not gonna go there. I can't. I'm not gonna bridge the gap, and I'm not gonna get fired up because I'm already starting to get mad.
Yeah,
so
there are other podcasts for that. Basically, what we would like, Blizzard, is you do fantastic CGI work. You did it great for all of your World of Warcraft expansions. We have machinimas for YouTube. Machinima does their own thing. We don't need that for Hearthstone. You know, you want to do it for Warlords of Draenor? That's cool. That's cool.
The last cool expansion or cutscene that you did for World of Warcraft was Mist of Pandaria, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Awesome.
That's all I'm gonna say. It was awesome.
Back to adventure
That's
mode.
it.
I want to make a point quick. I need to make a point quick.
Go.
They're not charging money for the expansions.
Oh,
They're not?
If you want to get all the content for the expansions that you can without spending any money, you can do that. You can get you'll get all the classes.
that makes sense.
But what I think they might do, because there are some hardcore players out there who don't mind spending money, that they might make all that stuff available to be purchased as well. So you can either go buy the expansion, or you can
the Death Knight.
Yes, if you don't feel like spending a week playing all the PvE content, go buy it. Done.
That's interesting.
So they might do that.
That's a good way to do it too.
Yep.
People might wind up complaining about that as a little pay-to-win method. But
Yeah,
at the same time, it's not. It's a free-to-play
No,
game. They need to make money somewhere, you know?
Well,
and what it comes down to is still, I still am a strong believer in the fact that there's a million different decks that are free decks that you get just from the cards that you play with your characters, and you can win with them. You can crush with them. That's just the way it is. So I don't think that there's going to be that if anyone wants to use that and make an argument about it, it doesn't hold water. It is a free to play game, and you can 100% be free to play.
In fact, let's inelegantly segue, because now one other thing on our list is the guys on BlizzCon released a ton of awesome stats about the game, and one of those stats basically proves or gives more proof to the fact that this is not a pay-to-win game, because 44% of 3-star master players have never spent any money. So if it's pay-to-win, that number should be down to like 10%.
How's that for pay-to-win?
Yeah, exactly.
2%.
And I've said all along, the game is not pay-to-win, and I've seen, and even Justin's now mentioning, I've seen so many different decks you can play that cost you nada, and you can win a ton of games with them. And these 3-star master players, 44% of them are winning games without having spent a dime. It's not pay to win.
If it was pay to win, Total Biscuit's legendary deck that you guys probably have seen on YouTube, Total Biscuit's legendary deck would be unbeatable. Not only that, those free-to-play decks that you see all over, deck building websites, they would be completely unviable. It would be a joke. Yeah, exactly. It would be a joke. So, 3-star masters, that's almost half the player base. That's 3-star masters that have never spent a dime.
And I was pretty excited to see that number. I was pretty excited to see that number, because that just justifies what I've been saying all along. And I keep getting arguments, no matter where I post an article or a video discussing this, I seem to always get people arguing the fact on the forums, no, it's a collectible card game, therefore it is pay to win. That doesn't make sense, It's like saying it's nighttime, therefore there are stars in the sky, not on a cloudy night.
Right.
Good.
So,
One other stat that they threw out there was first turn advantage.
Awesome.
One person goes first, one person gets the coin. It's almost dead even. I think they said it was something like 52, 53% for first turn advantage. Basically, if you go first, some classes, they do a little worse. Some classes, they do a little better. It averages to about 53%, 52, 53%. So,
I think
there's not that much advantage to going first.
I think the worst...
I think it has a lot to do with the coin. Sorry, Gareth, I'm talking over you repeatedly. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think the worst class that they mentioned was Druid going first.
Yes.
Wasn't... No. Druid... Yeah, Druid going first had the worst. And Paladin had the best going first. Paladin was up to 55. But even that, I mean, that's negligible. I mean, that's
nothing. It's still right down the middle.
And they've said this
millions of players.
And they've said this before. They initially, when they sort of were testing the game internally, they would give the second player an extra card as a way to mitigate the first turn advantage, and they found that it wasn't anywhere near enough. The first turn advantage was still enormous. So then they dropped this coin idea in, and that really shoved all the the averages down to where they wanted to be, to where it is now, actually. So pretty nice to see that.
Yeah, there's basically no clear-cut best class to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Just how you want it.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's awesome. They got it right on the money.
And the other...
So, go ahead. Go ahead.
Dan.
You two in the talking over, it's crazy.
You
it's
have
crazy.
The floor,
we
sir.
all have opinions.
Speak your mind. Speak your mind.
It's crazy.
Well,
I'm just sitting over here silent as a little lamb, and you guys are just going back and forth and back and forth. Man, all right. Anyway, go ahead, Gareth.
The other cool thing about the best class stuff is they showed us that they would take daily stats about which class is on top based on the previous day's gameplay. So they show one graph and they say, okay, well, last week we had one day where rogues were the best class, and the next day, druids, and the day after that, hunters. So they're actually just showing that right now there's no way to reliably determine which class is actually the best in the game, because the game's meta is shifting so much because it's so new and there's so few players in the game. Things just can't settle down. The what you call it? It's too early in the morning for me.
Average out.
Yeah, that stuff. So. Yeah,
let's not do that. Let's not make that noise.
All the strategy and deck building and stuff like that. People are just still trying a lot of different things, and stuff changes too much for them to actually be able to determine which is the best class in the game right now. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we are getting a little bit over time, though, don't you think, Justin?
Yes, and with that, I think we should pretty much wrap this up. So that was awesome. So BlizzCon was a pretty epic event once again, and it was awesome. So Steve, you want to wrap it up for us?
Yes, I want to wrap it up. Okay, so podcast, we talked about BlizzCon. We covered the nerfs, we covered the ranking system, we covered the new game modes, the Invitational, everything in between. And before we go out, I just want to thank everyone who tuned into the first episode. In less than 3 days, we had 3,500 listeners. That is insane.
Yeah,
the comments down the page were overwhelmingly positive. I think I counted one bad comment, and it was someone who didn't get the key, and he was just not happy about it. So I mean, I'm thrilled. Yeah, I'm thrilled to hear that everyone is excited about this. Gareth and Justin, JDubb, and myself. We love doing this. This is fun. We love you guys. We
thank you.
I mean, with that massive response, we've also had a couple sponsors reach out to us. We're going back and forth with people. Things are looking good, guys. So I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. I hope that it did justice to the first. I want to thank everyone for tuning in.
First video.
And we will see you next time. Yeah.
Check out.
That's it. Bye, everybody.
See you next time.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Should we clap it out again? Should we clap it out?
We should clap. Let's clap it out again.
Let's clap it out again.
Let's do it.
All right.
Clap it out again.
Now they can see my
hands.
Okay. Next time, everybody.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Ciao.
Ha-ha! Not a bad show, eh? Thanks for watching, laddie. We'll see you next time.